Coffee with the Summerland kids. I got my coffee. Aaron's got his coffee. I'm Jericho Logan. This is Aaron Riggs. Today in Summerland, California, it's right now 59 degrees with a high of 70. Most likely sunny. Always sunny in Summerland in your heart. And Aaron and I, we both, I think, have seen recently some shots of Aaron's house from Summerland that's now, I believe, running Rusty's Pizza parlor. Do you think it's running or is it shut down?
Oh, I would imagine it's got to be running. I mean, it is, how shall we say, the only pizza joint in town.
Yeah, exactly. And those guys, dude, I remember like back in the day, like this has got to be 20 years ago. I was riding along with my friend. He's like, yeah, I worked with the Rusty's Pizza guy and da-da-da. And he's like telling me like something like, he makes like $30,000 a week. And this is like way a long time ago. So those guys are just, it's amazing what pizzas can do in terms of, finance. I mean, flip those pizzas in pizza delivery. I mean, you got to consider also how many people are delivering pizza. And then, the tips are made from, getting a little tip from your driver, or you give the driver a tip. So, and how many pizzas a day can you deliver? How many pizzas a day can you make? I mean, it sure is convenient to do pizza pickup from the location, call it in, order pickup, or have it delivered. I mean, Summerland's a super small town. That'd be an excellent job to be a pizza delivery man in Summerland because, dude, it's tiny, right?
Yeah, and you just got to look at the potential wealth. I would imagine. I mean, sometimes rich people don't tip, but sometimes they tip quite a bit. I don't know how it would work out, as far as the tips, but I would imagine they'd be halfway decent since, most deliveries you should be there and back within 20 minutes. I would hope.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, right. So it really looked so much different. I mean, Stacky Seaside had I want to say a stronger brand awareness going. I mean, it's the little sign, Rusty's Pizza. The county, I think, of Santa Barbara is very restrictive in terms of signage. When they have a big policy on how you can advertise your business and what sign and how big and all that stuff. And but it looks real clean. It looks like the location's very clean and well kept. But I remember back in the day, I just remember much more trees around your house than there is now.
Yeah. I remember the big tree in my backyard was kind of the, nice little spot to hang out. I'd explore and play ball back there. And
For sure. And then did you ever go to Stacky Seaside when they were open?
Yes, I did. It was, gosh, it must have been at least maybe 15 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
And I was visiting through Summerland, and I'm like, I have to go and have a sandwich. And it was a pretty good sandwich, and it was just, pretty cool to look at my old house. Of course, there's the regret of, I wish I still owned this house, but at the same time, we got to move on and keep on moving, keep on trucking, as they say in the meme world. I guess that was a meme back in the day.
That was keep on trucking and go climb a rock. We're like essentially prehistoric memes, right?
Yeah. I mean, prehistory. That's before the internet, right?
Yeah.
If it's not on the internet, it's not true. Is that what they said?
What is it?
If it's not on the internet, it's not true.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not on the internet, it's not true. Exactly. It's a undocumented.
Or was it? Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
It's a secret. Mm-hmm.
Secret. So
exactly.
Hidden, so Gnostic.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, bro, I'm gonna do the hair like. It's so amazing, man. So that's just 3 years. So are you gonna when's your birthday again? Are you a Leo? I can't remember.
Yeah,
You're a Leo.
8-8. The
Eight
Lions
eight.
Gate.
Yeah, 8-8. Okay, so you'll be 53 this summer. 53.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and I'll be 54. So I'm just slightly ahead of you, July 1st. So I can't remember my point with that, but nonetheless, we're freaking middle aged. We're not over the hill. I want to say I consider 50 like halftime. We've already done our halftime show. You know, when you turn 50, it's halftime. And then so we've celebrated our halftime show, and then now we're living our best life after the halftime show, and now it's like the second half of the game, let's call it, and we can use all our knowledge we gained in the first half for the second half of our journey. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's good because when you're young, you can do stuff. And I've been in construction and many different industries, metal, telecommunications, all this. When I was young, I could do all this stuff and I'm learning. But now I'm old and
Right.
I understand all this stuff, but it's really hard for me to do it. You know, I go out and pick weeds for an hour and oh, my back's throbbing. I'm sweating. I'm like, oh, I'm about dead.
Right.
And I just think it's just a weird cosmic joke, I guess.
Right.
When you have energy to do stuff, you don't have the knowledge and wisdom. By the time you gain the knowledge and wisdom, good luck if you have the strength or energy. Um,
To pull it off.
but at the same time, there's certain things we do. Coffee gets me going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I drank a couple Monster energy drink this weekend, and it's almost like drinking a beer. It kicks you into another realm. Which is sometimes you need to be kicked into the play, if you will. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
Gatorade, electrolytes.
Well, a lot of the besides caffeine, of course, which is in a lot of the energy drinks, the B vitamin complex.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like if you're not getting enough vitamins and B vitamins, especially for like a lot of different things, nerves and energy. Um, and so when I drink one of those, it's like my body just goes, yeah, we got some energy, B vitamins pumping through our veins. Let's go. And
Yeah.
it makes me wonder, back before industry took over the food, I guess food was a lot more nutritious when people grew it in normal soil rather than using chemical fertilizers. I'm not a
Right.
botanist or anything.
Yeah. Right.
I do like to grow flowers, though.
Exactly. And it's harder than you'd think to grow flowers. My mom just got I'm not sure what kind of plant it is, but I put it in the backyard. It seems like it's doing okay. I put it in the soil, and but I have to put a little cage around it because the freaking squirrels and the chipmunks are trying to dig. They're like, oh, fresh soil. What's up? Like, dig, dig, dig. A little. My friend says, Jay Bruss, they're burying nuts. Apparently, they're burying nuts for later. I guess they like their nuts to be cool or something, or they're trying to
Me
grow
too.
another tree. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I'm up here in Orville. We get a little bit of 100 degrees. You can see how bright the sun is already. And
Yeah.
I made a joke to my girlfriend. I'm like, man, I'm about to sweat my balls off because it was
Right.
just so hot, And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's much better to have cool nuts. I think the squirrels are onto something, buddy.
I think they're onto something. Yeah. And for what we don't know about those guys, they might just be actually the guys who plant the trees. Like they're the Nature Conservancy. They're actually planting seeds that potentially they might not remember where they put them. And then the default is it grows another freaking pine tree, in the forest. So they're actually like, doing whether it's God's work or nature's work, it's on, and those guys are doing the work. So
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of Chip and Dale, and it's just like,
absolutely.
yeah, cool. The squirrels are doing, or the ground squirrels, or the whatever they were,
Yeah.
gophers, I guess. I don't. They were
Yeah.
just cute little furry animals that ate up Elmer Fudd's garden. I remember that. It was
All
hilarious.
right.
Or,
Exactly. Exactly. So speaking of cartoons, I've been going through my grandfather's, archive, and we are going to shift, not shift, well, slightly shift gears, I guess you could say, because we're going to work on inventorying. I think we've done 4 boxes now, 4 short boxes, as they call them, of the comic books, and there's probably at least 4 more boxes to go through of comic books, and we're looking them up on eBay and trying to mainly establish the year, the number, which sometimes the year's on the cover, sometimes it's not. So it'll be like, for example, Wilbur #5. That's when Katie Keene first appeared, and then you can see sometimes you have to look inside the cover to see the date of publishing, and then you
all
can of
right.
course snap a picture of it, because eBay's pretty cool. The eBay app, where it has a little button where you can use their camera, and then you shoot a picture, and then it pulls up the like item on eBay in their current inventory. I haven't quite figured out how to look at past sales yet. I know it's pretty simple though, because you can choose like what's the highest value one, like highest value, lowest value, those things. But otherwise, it'll just pull up the same item on eBay right now and tell you what it's selling for. And then to research farther, you can just plug that same thing into Google, I guess, Wilbur #5, to see the current values. So we're trying to establish value to some degree, to understand what some values are, to use an example, because we know there's value there, but establishing that value is important. Just as if you were mining, you probably have to show value in terms of actual found object gold, right?
Yeah, you would assay your ore,
Okay.
um, and obviously there's going to be an investment. Even just to prospect, you got to put in gas and lunch just to even go find out if you can get to any gold. Um, and then, like, another thing I was looking at, I'm gonna pull up the screen share now, is like
Yeah.
some of the things you shared today were, it looks like, um, you know, people's art.
Yeah. The kid. Yeah, for sure. The
Like this
kids
one, I think
drawings.
this one is wedding suit for Tammy, right? So this one looks like a Bill Wagon. You can just kind of tell from the style, but then some of these
Well,
other
yeah.
ones, like this,
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Totally.
I would think is a fan.
Yeah.
Um, and I just wonder, like, I wonder if this Lynn, um, if any of these artists that were young artists giving, fan art
Yeah.
ever became like a
For
famous
sure.
artist, because I would imagine like some of these Carol, who, is she a well-known artist, a well-known fashion designer? Because that would make
Yeah.
some of these things even way more valuable than,
Yeah. You're right. You're 100% right. Um, there is some notable people, but it's yet to be determined if I find their work in the collection, because at the time, um, these were kept, I believe that's probably in um, the Washington file, but I filed it now under just Katie Keene art. But for example, there was a subject Manila folder under Washington, and then there was also one that was costumes. So sometimes my grandfather would find a good example of a Katie Keene costume drawing from a fan, and then put it in his file under costumes. So that's cool. But yeah, there's a chance that some of these fans are on the Katie Keene fan page. Mind you, their age was, sometimes they write their age on their drawing, not all the time, but you know, it would be sort of like cross-referencing to generalize, because Katie Keene was published in 1945, and she didn't come out of the gate with fan submission yet. I'd have to research to find out when that first year was that he asked for fan submissions. But I think clearly by 1948, like 3 years after, even 2 years after her debut, she started to ask for fan submissions. And that's what these are. These are fan drawings sent in to my grandfather via the U.S. mail, and he would go through all the fan drawings and then include some of the fan drawings in the comic book. But he'd definitely uplift the fan drawing, so it's like an original concept by a child, but then it'd be redrawn by a professional artist like my grandfather or Cassie Bill, Hazel Martin, Floyd Norman. Those are a few names of people that helped my grandfather back then to refine the fan drawings to a professional level drawing, and then give the kid credit for the original concept of the drawing. So thankfully, there's a lady named Marlise Flusser who in the early 1970s, I want to say mid 70s, she went and wrote 500 letters to fans to try to connect with fans and then see what fans are still out there. So
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm
yeah,
looking at these and it looks like, you know, just this old school paper,
yep,
but
like
some
old
of
school.
these drawings are just incredible to
I
think
know,
that this is just a kid.
for
You know, I
sure.
mean, hands are some of the hardest things to draw.
Yeah,
Faces, you know, and to give them expression
right.
is not an easy thing.
No, it's not. And that one's a good example, because I think she said there was one where it said, "Can you please draw Katie's face?" Or like they had trouble drawing. You know, kids would just be like asking Grandpa to essentially help out with some of the drawings. But their general idea was there. I mean, there's looks like they're on a little patio. This was from the wedding file. You know, Katie Keene getting married, or Gloria getting married, or sometimes it's like a fantasy. It'd be a fantasy of getting married, and then so yeah, classic.
Oh yeah,
So
like you're saying, yeah. So this is just a 12-year-old,
age 12, yeah.
you know, so
So
you're still in grammar school, and this is like to be drawing that well as a sixth grader. I would imagine that some of these people
yeah,
have gone on. Oh, what is
for
this?
sure.
Keen
That one,
Show, Jericho. That
yeah, exactly. That was
how did
from the
that come
year.
about?
That was in about 2003, may have been 2004. I did my first solo art show in San Francisco at a restaurant, and it was at the 2223 Market Street restaurant in San Francisco. So a close friend of mine got me the opportunity to do the show, and so when I did the show, I had the good fortune to have a PR company, and so the ladies from the PR company. I gave them some materials to work with because I wanted to honor my grandfather, because at the time it was coinciding with Katie Keene's 60th anniversary. Katie Keene was turning 60 in 2003 or 4. So I honored my grandfather at my art show, and we actually got a cake and did happy birthday, Katie. And there was a girl at the show who looked like Katie Keene, so I had her cut the cake. It was awesome. And we got some, because I've always wanted to honor my grandfather, and I did so then 20 years ago now, in my, you know, using just a little bit of Katie Keene honor within my own show. But I've always done my own art, and then leading up until 2018, when I got the call from my cousin saying we've uncovered Grandpa's office, and we're going through, you know, my aunt's home, and we're working on moving my aunt to assisted living, and what's your thoughts? And I said, I just came right down to Thousand Oaks and in California to assist with the process of saving my grandfather's collection and getting it into some boxes. So, you know, it's been ever since 2018, it's been somewhat consistent with my assisting with the project, but COVID really threw it off, where I was separated from the project from like March 2020 to about 2022 or so. I was separated from it, but just recently, last August, I went and got the collection and brought it out to Colorado and rented the office space and really got into it, and you know, made some progress, you know, finished and labeled some boxes, you know, of course, with specifics of what's in the boxes. And now we're going into it again and really getting into what is there, you know. So it's a job. It's like comparing it to the gold thing, you know. It's like we don't know what's in the mine yet. We are in the process of counting and logging in to and creating a digital like I guess you could say a spreadsheet. It's not really a spreadsheet. I got to learn that stuff a little bit. I'm not super savvy. So, you know, we are just essentially, thankfully with our phones and whatnot, we can do it in notes. Jason can text me the daily list of the comics that we've logged in today. For example, today we might do 50 or so comics. So we'll actually research 50 different comic books, and then we'll log the volume number, the year, the title of the comic, and then we'll look up the prices, and we'll try to perhaps write down the high price and the low price currently in the market for that particular comic. But then we've learned about grading, comic book grading. There's a comic book grading company. There's a couple companies that grade comics. So it's important to eventually attach a grade to the comic, so it gets encapsulated in a little plastic cover, and it says CDC Comic Book Grading Company or something like that. Graded a
How much does that cost to
I don't
have
know.
them graded?
I think I got to look it up, but I thus far I think it's a percentage of the value of the comic. So if you have a comic that's $400, maybe it's $40. I really got to find that out. But
Okay, because I just had a little thought here. Like,
yeah,
if you have the comics, everyone had access to the comics, and there's value there. But what you have that may be even more valuable and very unique and exclusive to your collection is, I was just thinking, what if you had the original art from the fan and were able to match it up with the comic book? So now you
yeah,
have
no,
not just the comic book itself, but the original art, fan work. You know, I'm just seeing that as so much more eclectic, collectible,
yeah,
and
you're right,
unique,
for sure. There is there.
and potentially valuable
No, you're right.
to
You're
that
right.
fan art. You know, and it's not just,
Yeah,
oh, they came up with a
except
new
for the
Katie Keene show, but that you have this unique access to the original art, to the, you know, giving credit to these original ideas from the kids of back in the day. I just, you know, I'm always looking at, I guess, a different thing than everyone else maybe is looking at. I just
no,
say
that's
things
important.
differently.
No, you're absolutely right. You're frozen on your end, but nonetheless, I can hear your audio perfectly. Um, so yeah, you're right. It's all about knowledge of the actual drawing and then the corresponding original art that went into the comic books. And there's also potentially a trifecta where you have the art from the comic in the comic book, and then you have the original comic book page that my grandfather created, the actual ink drawing that's approximately, I want to say, 13 or 14 inches wide by maybe 20. So the 13 by 20 inch original art that would eventually be translated to the comic book. So there could be potentially 3 attachments there. There's the comic book, the original art created that got sent to New York, and then the child's drawing inspiration that got into the comic book. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you have all the, what do they call it? Provenance? Is
Yeah,
that
the
what it's called?
provenance.
The provenance. I have proof that this is original work because, sometimes people want to fake it.
I know for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just an ongoing process of I guess you could say it's important to catalog. It's important to know what you have, just as in using the reference of if you're collecting cars and you inherited, let's say, a lot of cars, you'd want to know what every car is, of course, and you'd also want to know on your Corvette, is the Corvette engine original? Is the Camaro engine the LS7, or the numbers have to match in order to get a real solid collectible with authenticated numbers, because that all matters when it goes in terms of sale, or in terms of attaching value to something. All your numbers have to be correct in terms of, is it all there? Or like in comic book world, it's are all the pages there? What's the condition? And once that's determined, they can give the comic book a grade. And then once it's graded, then you have something that you can look up and research on what they call the Overstreet Price Guide, which is a book that's published every year. And they also have a major online presence. So, yeah.
No, that's like, it's so, the comic book world is very interesting to me. I know
It
that
is.
one of my friends there that I've done some work with that does the kind of life coaching or accelerative coaching actually took and created comic books, and just that whole process and the whole, you got Comic-Con, which is a big convention of comics,
Yeah,
and people are really into that.
they
um,
are. More than
and
ever.
and
Yeah,
it's like with a Hollywood taking on the Katie Keene show, TV series, or whatever it was. um how much of the past translates into modern times. And I think there's a lot of it, if you're not just going, oh, fashions, but you're saying, fan contributions. You're talking, expressing ideas that may be a little bit risque for the times, like you were saying about how they switched over from one publisher to another that had the certification type thing.
exactly. Yeah.
So, I just, my mind wanders. I wonder and I wander. This is what I do.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you want to mention our sponsors today?
Brought to
And
you
our
by Tiggers. Brought to you by what, the ties. Brought to Now here's something, Jericho. I
Yeah,
be a little bit off topic, but at the same time, how much, like, you're an artist. I've seen your art. I've seen you
yeah.
produce art. Have you still been arting?
Not much. I gathered some inventory in Los Angeles, and I had a dear friend today said she's going to send me some slip sleeves, and I asked her, would you like some ties? She's like, no, I'm good. It's fine. I just want to help support your project. But I do want to actively produce those 24 pieces, those original 24, because I haven't done anything particularly this year in 2024. The last show I had, I believe, was in 2022. I did a presentation in Los Angeles where I was given a wall to produce on at the Hive Gallery. But since then, I haven't produced. I've been deep in this project, and I really do want to get through this project. prior, finding balance. I guess it's finding balance between your personal artistic pursuits and then honoring my grandfather and his pursuits with getting him into a museum collection type of environment. That's my personal goal, to get grandpa into the professional hands of those who respect and honor those things that he did, so yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, balance is a key thing, because I know that I'm a wandering wanderer, so I'm always wondering where I should wander. And sometimes when I quit wondering and I quit wandering,
Yeah.
then it just, something happens. I don't feel the energy of life per se.
Right.
And I know that when we first started having conversations before it went live, it was more about let's play, let's play with this idea of not just archiving the legacy that is Bill Wagen, but continuing the legacy, which is Bill Wagen Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
and his art. And I know I prompted you, oh, let's make a comic strip, and I'm jonesing, bro. I'm jonesing.
I know.
I need a square to color, man.
I know. I thought about it yesterday. I mean, it's on my mind for sure. And I just like I'll be. It's a challenge to find that balance, and then create the team. Surround yourself with the people that see the vision. And you shared the other day. Did you share something with me about Lucy Hale and the season 2 of the Katie Keene TV show? Do you know? Have you got any words on that?
I think I did share. It was like something I seen in one of these fan pages or something.
I wonder if it was old news. I wonder if it was like older when they during the production of the original season 1 of Katie Keene on the CW network. If they were talking about season 2, I don't know. I know Lucy Hale appeared in that movie. What's it called? When the little dude says the plane.
Fantasy Island.
Something about Fantasy Island. So yeah, in Fantasy Island, Lucy Hale appeared as an actress in that movie, and I don't know what she's currently working on personally, but I know that she probably has an Instagram page. I should check it out. She was the chosen actress to play Katie Keene, so she still fits the role because her age is such that she's like I would say a 20-something. So that's just that was their choice on an actress to play Katie Keene. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I have no idea what's going on at Archie Comics. I just know that they continue to produce comics for kids, and that's pretty much what they do, and maybe the young upper teen market, So
Yeah, it's interesting, demographics and target markets and all this, and it's very interesting to me
yeah,
because I just find it interesting how the dynamics of society, sociology, psychology all ties into, individuals, and how like you're saying, you have a team that has a common vision. It's a little bit less I guess a little bit more exciting, more fun to, I mean, there's one thing, okay, I'm playing hacky sack by myself, but then it's something else when another person or 2 people or 3 people join that hacky sack game, or
yeah.
really anything. You can't play football by yourself.
Right, exactly. So yeah, no, it's all about forming a team and then forming the excitement. And then when you have someone who's created a world-class, top-notch winner like my grandfather did, and has been recognized by the Comic-Con with the Will Eisner Award and the Ink Pot Award, and his brother Elmer Wagen was also an award winner. So you're dealing with award-winning producers, and then but their work has not been yet Uh, there is some work in museums, but I want to say it's pretty minimal because I'd have to look up when the San Francisco Cartoon Art Museum opened. I know my grandfather did submit some work to them when he was still alive, pre 2002. He had sent some work to Ohio State University as well as the San Francisco Cartoon Art Museum. But I want to continue to support the museums with their acquisitions of the work so it can be preserved for the long term. That's my goal. So,
No, absolutely. I mean, because like if you really do, you find these comics, you find this fan art, you find the original, that single display, with from fan to art to publishing, that tells a story, that tells the history. Now,
exactly.
that's all fine and dandy, Jericho, but have you, I'm just gonna have you gamified what you're doing yet?
What do you mean? Like,
Gamify. It's not work anymore when you gamify what you're doing. It
oh
becomes
yeah,
play.
yeah. To some degree, I mean, right now, there's definitely an element of like, what would you say? A discussion needs to happen with the family to establish um, like an update, if you will, like an update of here's an updated inventory because we never knew we still don't have a completely finished inventory yet. So we need to, promptly, finish the inventory of the project, which is quite a endeavor. And so if people want to, if the family wants to either join the endeavor by supporting it or not supporting it, we have to find that out in short order. So I'll know that if I'm independently on my own on this project to self-fund the project, or if I have some support. I thankfully have some friends that have supported the project in terms of sending me plastic sheet covers to move forward with it. But thus far, I've been mostly self-funding the project, so the project, you could say, is in a transitional moment to find out what kind of support I can get for the project from family. So
No, that makes sense because I mean, just the whole thing with family stuff, it can be kind of tricky and difficult when people want someone else basically to do all the work or make all the investment, but then they want to reap the rewards. It reminds me of the little red hen, the story of the little red hen, where the little red hen's like, "Oh, could you help me plow my field?" And the lawyer passes and the doctor passes and nobody wants to help, but the little boy goes, "Sure, little red hen, I'll help." And it goes on like this, help me plant, help me take the weeds out, help me harvest, help me grind the grain. And nobody wants to help but this one little kid. And then finally, when the little red hen makes the bread, per se, the bread, let's just use those those
yeah,
air quotes, um, that everyone goes, "Oh, I want some of your bread. I want some of your bread." And the little red hen goes, "Well, where were you when I was plowing the field and pulling the weeds and planting the seed and harvesting the grain and grinding the grain into flour? No one was there but the little boy." So everybody wanted the bread, per se. And the little red hen said, "Nope, I'm going to just share it with the little boy that came and helped." So, I mean, that's I guess, an Aesop fable or something like
yeah.
that.
No, that's important. That's very important, and it needs to be talked about to establish moving forward. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're sitting there spending hours hiring a friend, all this travel, all this expense, and you come and say, "Oh, look, we have 500 uh, comic books that are worth anywhere from $100 to, say, I think I've seen some up to $3,000 or $4,000,
yeah,
and that's just the comic books." And now you're
yeah,
saying, "Oh, this is a museum piece with the original fan art, the original draw up, and the original thing." It's obviously going to be worth a lot more value. You spent how much time, how much energy, how much effort, how much money to get this process to where now it's a piece of gold per se, to where now
Yeah.
this piece that is all in a plaque and a hard case and graded magazines and you know, and this is worth 10. Well, Jericho, we'll give you $100 out of it. You know, where is the truth in that? I guess, you know. So that's
Yeah.
something I guess I'm saying to kind of say, you know what, Jericho, yeah, you're the one that grabbed the brass ring. No one else grabbed that brass ring. No one else went and stuck their flag in the ground and said, I claim this thing for our family.
Right.
And everyone wants to see the gold. Once you get it out of the mine and you get it refined, they're like, well, where's my cut of the gold? Well, where was your cut of the work?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the little boy and the little red hand in this? I got to get it together, man. Big time. Well,
and also, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I see you focus on this, and I love the focus, but like, don't lose yourself, bro. Don't lose that creative artist that enjoys just the pen to paper or the paint to canvas or whatever it is. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I hope that you can say, okay, I'm going to take a half hour a week, or even just the smallest amount of 5 minutes, and not just catalog the legacy, which is Bill Wagen, but to keep it growing.
Yeah.
Legacy growing.
Yeah.
Continuing
exactly.
that essence that is your family, that is the art, that is the expression.
I know, and I had that mojo working for years prior to this coming into this project. I was on my own and having a great, creative moment of inspiration, and then it sort of like it took a different turn, taking on the project to get it processed has taken me sort of out of my own element, if you will, and so it's a challenge. So
I'm going to ask you a hard question here, bro.
Yeah.
Grandpa Bill, would he? I don't know how well you knew him, how much time you spent with him.
Yeah.
But would he want to catalog his art, or would he prefer that Jericho express? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering.
For sure. No, you're right. Those are good. It's a good question. So yeah, it's I honestly I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like it's the right thing to do, of course, because otherwise it would go. I don't know where it would go if I wasn't here to do it. It would be taking up space, and then it costs money to have other people do the work for you, and then you don't know exactly. It's like, who can you trust to do the work, and that's what I feel about the project is I know that I can trust the family can trust me to do the work, and that's what's important to me. And I just have to again establish the connections with the family to come up with what percentages and whatnot. So yeah, that's
definitely important. I mean, especially if like you're pulling original fan art that inspired Grandpa to do these elaborate layouts and these beautiful pieces that he took from the fan art. This is something so exclusive.
Yeah.
This is something nobody else has. This is something that, I could be a comic collector with millions of dollars and I could buy 2 copies of every one at a 9.9.
Yeah.
But can I get my hands on that original art? Only through you. Can I get my hands on that original fan art that inspired? Only you. So, like what you're saying, yes, it is a museum quality. This is history of comics. This Archie comic, this Katie Keene. I wonder how Simpsons or Beavis and Butthead or any of these new popular comics, they start somewhere.
Yeah, they start somewhere. It's the origins of comics. So yeah, so let's wrap it today. I got to get back out to the ranch to to get to work.
Yeah. We had a good stream today.
Grind, man.
I guess what we do is we do the smash that like button.
Smash
If
the
you
like
want to
button.
see Katie Keene,
Yeah.
some of these pieces put together, and you want to see them, let's show some support. Okay, yeah, we're social animals, we're human beings, and we do. People say, "Oh, you're just doing it for the likes," but at the same time, on the playground, at work, we're a social team as a human or a human family, to where we want to interact with people that are interested in the same things we are. So smash that like button, smash that follow. If you're watching on Twitch, check us on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, check us on YouTube. Hey, we were talking this morning. Check us on Instagram. Check out Jericho's Instagram. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Check out the website, Cherry Meltdown. Come on.
Yeah. Jericho 101 on Instagram. So yeah, we'll have to talk about soon about trying that Instagram live to get away from the frozen stuff, the frozen streams, so to speak.
Yeah, and like we did this morning, sometimes I guess maybe we got to refresh to get that
refresh. Yeah. All right, man. I'll send you the.
All right, I'm gonna let you go.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Smash that like, smash that follow. Tigger says,
we're Coffee with Summerland Kids. Cheers.